The cutting edge in music, what's new is old. Imagine beloved performers of the past brought back for an encore. Our cover story is reported by David Pogue.
Many opera fans consider Maria Callas one of the greatest sopranos who ever lived. When she died in 1977, they were heartbroken. So they might be shocked to learn that Maria Callas is going on tour this spring, complete with a live 60-piece orchestra. Her return is brought to you by Hologram, or what's being called a hologram.
We're celebrating iconic performers and their performances, and we're presenting them to audiences to either see them again or audiences that have never seen them before.
Brian Becker is the CEO of Base Entertainment, which created the Maria Callas show. Most of us think of a hologram as a three-dimensional, futuristic projection technology, like Princess Leia in the first Star Wars movie. You could walk all the way around her, see her from the back.
Right.
That's not quite what we're talking about.
No, this is a 3D illusion. But holographic technology or a hologram is just a good name that people recognize.
Maria Callas is hardly the first dead musician to take the stage again. The first example that really caught the public's attention was at the Coachella Music Festival in 2012, when rapper Tupac Shakur rose from the dead. The projection technology for that stunt is now owned by a company called Hologram USA.
Welcome to Hologram USA.
Alki David is the CEO of Hologram USA, a billionaire and no stranger to controversy. At his theater on Hollywood Boulevard, his company offers holographic shows featuring stars like Billie Holiday.
I can hardly speak.
As it turns out, these high-tech shows aren't really new. They're based on a stage effect called Pepper's Ghost, an illusion popularized in 1862 by a scientist named John Pepper. An offstage actor is reflected by a sheet of glass at a 45-degree angle, appearing to the audience as a ghostly life-sized image.
Projectors are up there, bouncing off a gray cinema screen that's nestled to the floor, and the image is reflected up. It's reflected off a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I can just barely see this 45-degree diagonal, clear sheet of plastic. Good kitty.
Brings a whole new meaning to the show Cats.
But how do they get the video of the dead performers in the first place? Especially of Maria Callas, who died well before the age of high-definition video. Marty Tudor, head of Base Entertainment's hologram projects, had to recreate her from scratch.
And so we start with a body double who has to perform, literally. And our director worked with our body double for 12 weeks. And then we take the results of that and go to work on it digitally.
Just as in the movies, special effects artists then seamlessly superimpose a computer-generated face onto the footage of the body double. And what about the audio? In Maria Callas's day, the orchestra and the singer were recorded all at once in one pass. But in this concert, the pre-recorded Callas will be accompanied by a live orchestra, which means that the company's engineers had to somehow remove the sound of the orchestra from the 1960 recordings. Okay, how?
It's magic.
No, it's software, but
it's
I mean...
software and it's technology and it's artistry, frankly. Time-consuming, expensive, tedious job, but worth it.
Base Entertainment is also launching a Roy Orbison concert this spring using the same techniques. As though that's not boggling enough, one of the most popular singers in Japan today is Hatsune Miku. She's a computer-generated voice coming from a computer-generated body.
She opened for Lady Gaga on one of her tours. The singing is all computer generated based on these algorithms.
Audiences are paying to see a pop star who doesn't exist.
Absolutely. Concerts really these days exist not so much, I would argue, for the music, but more just the scene.
Actually, Alfie David says that holographic singers are only the beginning.
We at Brigham Young University have created a volumetric display that is both high resolution and full color. It is very much like the displays of science fiction. We started this project with the goal in mind of creating the Princess Leia projection. Often when we think of an image that's floating in space that's 3D, we think of a hologram. But really, a hologram cannot make the Princess Leia image, or the Avatar table, or the Iron Man display. A 3D image that floats in air that you can walk all around and see from every angle. This image is called a volumetric image.
Essentially, it's an image that is taking up three-dimensional space. We're actually using a laser beam to trap a particle, and then we can move that particle and create the image.
We get a particle into the trap by sweeping through the focus. See a little particle like that? It's now trapped, and it's dragged along with the scan of the mirrors, and while it's trapped, laser light will hit that particle, and that would glow because there's all this light scattering off of it. This is not unlike the effect you'll see with a sparkler. If you move it quickly enough, it doesn't look just like one point, it looks like a line. We can think about this image like a 3D printed object. A single point was dragged sequentially through all of these image points to create this 3D image in space. This display is like a 3D printer for light. You're actually printing an object in space with these little particles. This is not a hologram. We've demonstrated here that we can see it from the front, we can see it from the back, and in reality we can see it from almost any angle. Here we see the culmination of 3 years of effort. Our display is projecting a small particle focused right here. It's being dragged up and down vertically raster, this image of Princess Leia. The contribution BYU has made is that we're providing a method of making a volumetric image that can essentially create the images that we imagine we'll have in the future. The future won't be the future without a Princess Leia projector, and this can make that a reality.